to working with Excel 2010 built-in templates, brought to you by Shiftkey Solutions, and I am Eric Ripley. In this video tutorial, we'll be covering some of the simple steps involved in working with some of the built-in templates that are provided by Excel 2010. So here I am inside of Excel. I've started Excel program and I've gone to I went to File and then New tab here. And then over here, the one we're going to work with is a time card. So I'm going to come down and I can see that I have many to choose from here. I'm going to go to Timesheets. And then from here, I'm going to go down to the time card. It's a very simple one. I'm going to click this, and this is the preview of it. I'm going to click Download. Now from here, I can see that this is a very basic and simple worksheet here that's designed around keeping track of hours for employees. Now let's review some of the things and items that are inside of this worksheet. I can see that I have work ending, and if I click on this cell, make this on my active cell, I want to review what's actually in the cell. So inside this cell, I have to verify what's inside of it. If I look in the formula bar, I can see that it is actually a date. That's what's inside that cell. Another way I can verify that it's a date is that if I look in my Home tab here in the Numbers group, this is the Format area, and it tells me that it's a date format. Now if I look at this range here, C21, I see there's a formula in this cell here, which is if C16 absolute equals 0, then nothing, or C16 absolute minus 6. And what that formula does for us is takes this ending date and subtracts 6 days from it, and that's the beginning of the week. Pretty neat little formula here. And then if we look down in cell D28, there's another formula here for total hours. We have sum D21 through D27. Pretty straightforward stuff. It'll sum it right there. If we look at D30, pretty straightforward. There's a formula in here that tells us D28 times D29. One of the first things we're going to do to make this template our own is that we're going to go to cell B1 here, and I want to add a title to this. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to use WordArt. So I'm going to go to Text Group and click WordArt. Now from my gallery here, I'm going to go down and click on Fill Accent 1 Inner Shadow. And I think I found it right here. Is the Fill Teal Accent 1 Inner Shadow. If I click this, it brings up a text box here for me. And in that text box, I'm going to type in the title of my company. Let's say Shiftkey. Now from there, I'm going to position the top left corner of this text box to right in between column B and C, so it's going to be right about there. So I'm going to grab the border, click and drag, and drop it right about there. So now it's above as a title. With my WordArt selected, I'll notice that I have an additional ribbon here. It's my Drawing Tools Format Contextual tab here. And what I want to do is I want to go down to the Shape Styles group right here, and then in my gallery up here, I'm going to cursor over until I find the Intense Effects. So if I click this drop down here, and I'm going to look for Intense Effects Accent 1. There it is. It's the teal one. So if I click this, it gives it a little depth to that title. From there, I'm going to go over to the Shape Effects and come down to Bevel. And I want to change it, change it from the circle to the angle. So now it has a bit of a chiseled edge look. Now from there, I'm going to come back up to my Shape Styles group and click on Shape Outline. And in the color gallery here, I have many colors to choose from, and you'll notice that as I cursor over each one of these, it'll give me a preview on the WordArt itself. The one I'm going to look for is going to be the black text 1, lighter 50. Let's see. There it is. If I click this, it applies that black text 1. And what that's doing is actually adding a little bit of depth contrast to the bottom edge of it. Now from there, I want to modify some of the text that's inside this. So I'm going to come over to the WordArt Styles group and click the text effects. From there, I'm going to go to shadows. I want to look for, and I have different sections here. I have an outer section, I have an inner section, and a perspective section. So if I cursor over any one of these, it gives me a preview of what it's going to look like. What I'm going to look for though is I want the outer offset bottom. So I'm going to click this, and it gives it a little more depth to the title. Now from there, I'm just going to click to deselect that, and that seems to be pretty sufficient for the time being. Now what I want to do is I want to add a logo or clip art on this side and a clip art on this side, and then I'm going to join them all and make them an actual logo. So for this exercise, we're just going to find something. We're going to go to the Insert tab, and in the Illustrations group, I'm going to click Clip Art. From there, I'm going to click the search for and type in keys, and then press Enter, and let's take a look. So this is quite a long list of keys to choose from. Let's just find something just for demonstration purposes. We'll use this one. If I click it one time, it'll place the image as to where my active cell was, and so there it is. So what I want to do is size this down to about an inch. Well, if I have trouble finding the 1 inch mark, I can come right up to my Picture Tools Format tab and come over to the Sizing group. Click inside there, just type in 1 and press Enter. It'll automatically size that. So there I go. Now I'm going to kind of drag it to the right a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to copy this and place one on this side as well and use the same image. Now there's a couple ways. You may be accustomed to right-clicking this, choosing copy, and then clicking somewhere over here, and then right-clicking and choosing paste. Well, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What I like to do is I like to use shortcuts. So the quick shortcut that I'm going to use is I'm going to put my cursor over this image, I'm going to press and hold down the Control key, and I'm going to click and drag to the right. I'm going to let go of my mouse button, and then let go of the Control key, and there it is. It's now been placed. From there I can just nudge it around as I like. Now one of the first things I want to do is I want to rotate this or flip it so that the key is facing the other way. So I need to go back to my Format tab, come to my Arrange group, and then click Rotate. And then from there I'm going to click on Flip Horizontally. There it is. The next step I want to do is I want to distribute these evenly on the horizontal plane. So I'm going to select each of these items. And the way I select it is I have the first one selected. I'm pressing my Control key. I'm going to click my WordArt and then click the other image. From there, I'm going to go to my Arrange group and click the Align drop down and choose Distribute Horizontally. And it adjusts it slightly. Now, one last thing I need to do is align this to the bottom. Now, everything is perfectly aligned. Now, with them all selected, I also want to group them together. So I'm going to come to my Arrange group and click Group, and then click Group. So now it's a single logo. Now I'm going to click to deselect it, and there we go. The next thing I want to do to modify my time card here is I'm going to change the location of time card from here to down here. So I'm going to select this cell, and if I click on here I can see that the time card text is actually in there. Now instead of doing the copy and the paste and all that stuff, I'm going to simply put my cursor on the border here, click and drag down to H16. You'll also notice that, see, as I move along I get a screen tip as to what cell I'm in. So I'll let go on H16 and it moves it there. And you'll notice that it dropped down the text and the WordArt box itself kind of became more narrow as in height wise, but that's okay. That's what we wanted to achieve. Next, we want to format some of the formulas that are inside these cells here. And when I say format, I mean to add some lines crossing through this so that it indicates that that is not going to be used. So we're going to select this range of E21 through E27, and I want to cross a line through this so that people don't add text or right into this area. So I want to select this range. I'm going to go to my Home tab here, and in the font group, I'm going to click my dialog box launcher. And here's my dialog box launcher as Format Cells. So from here I'm going to go to Borders tab, and then the one I want to add is this diagonal line. So I'm going to click this, and there it is. Now if I want to, I can always freestyle it and click inside here. It always works as well. So from there I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to select the range D28 through E28. And I'll notice that there are those two formulas that we looked at earlier. I'm going to select this range, I'm going to press delete so that I can add new formulas. Now with my D28 selected, I want to open up my formulas box so that I can add a formula, so that I can add a if formula. So you may be accustomed to going to the formulas tab and clicking insert function. Again, I like to use shortcuts, so here on the left hand side of my formula bar is the Insert Functions button. If I open this up, here it is. The one I want is an if. Now, if is not in this list of most recently used functions, I would click here, click on All, and then just search for it. Well, here it is. I'm going to click OK, and here's my function argument dialog box. Now, in the logical test, the formula I want to type in here is a sum formula. So open parentheses, and what I want to sum is D21, or I want to say if D21 through D27, close, so that we can come up with that number. If it's less than or equal to 40, and if it's true, I want to sum D21 through D27 and close parentheses. And if I press tab, in the false, if it's not less than 40, I just want it to appear as 40. Now from here I'm going to click OK, and now with this cell active, I can see in my formula bar up here, that's the formula I just typed in. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so this box is relative to my formula bar. Now here in cell D28, I'm going to open up my argument dialog box here again, and I want it to be another if. So here it is. The logical test for this to calculate will be sum, open parentheses, D21 through D27, close parentheses, greater than 40, because this is our overtime, right? I'm going to press tab. If it's true, then we're going to sum, open parentheses, D21 through D27, close parentheses, minus 40. And then if it's false, we're going to leave it 0. Then click OK. So that's for our overtime. Now, let's just test this out real quick. I'm going to enter some just arbitrary information here. There's usually 8 hours in a day, so we're going to do 8 here, 9 here, 9 here, 8, 7, and 8, and 9. So we can see that our formulas did our calculations for us. This cell for total hours for the regular hours will never appear as over 40. Anything over 40 comes over to the overtime total hours row and is indicated there, and then is totaled over here as 58 hours. Pretty neat, pretty simple. And then if we wanted to go so far as to finish this out, we can go over to E29 here and type in a very simple formula of equals D29 times 1.5, because that's overtime, right? I'm going to click my enter check mark. In F29, I'm going to type equals D29, and then I'm going to press tab because I just want to move that down. In G29, I'm going to type in equals D29, so it just kind of moves it forward. Press tab. Now from there, if I come to total this out or to see what it might calculate out, we can enter an amount here in the rate per hour. So let's say it's $21 per hour. If I click my enter check mark, it does a quick calculation, and we can see that for 58 hours a week, this person will have earned $14.07. I should say $1,407. Pretty straightforward. And this is how you can customize a template. Now, one last thing we're going to do before we close this out is we're going to add a footer to this printout. And the way we do that is we're going to go to the Insert tab. We're going to come over to the text group and click Header and Footer. Now, when we go to Header and Footer, our worksheet will look kind of weird and obscured. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to go right to our footer here in the navigation group. We're going to click Go to Footer, and then the left-hand side we can put in, let's say a good idea is to have the file name here. So we're going to come up to the header and footer elements and click File Name. On the right-hand side, we can put in the sheet name, because here's our worksheet. We'll put in the sheet name. And in a perfect world, for each worksheet, we would have it titled according to that employee, most likely. Now, one last thing I'll do is modify this up a little bit. And then I'm going to click within my worksheet here. I'm going to go back to normal view. And here's my normal view. Now, to verify that that all took place, I'm going to do a print preview. And there it is. Down at the bottom I have my footer, and here's my worksheet. From there, this can be printed off and signed by the employee and signed by the manager. Pretty easy stuff. Well, I hope this was helpful, and if you didn't know how to do this before, now you know. And I encourage you to go out and share this knowledge with whomever else might need help with it. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to comment.